Welcome. Picture your favorite restaurant. It's not just about the food, is it? It's the warm greeting at the door, the perfect ambiance, the seamless timing of service, the ease of payment. Every single moment matters. But here's the challenge. Your restaurant is like a complex symphony with dozens of people playing different instruments simultaneously. Meet Mia, the owner, Carlos, the manager, Aisha, the chef, and Ben, the server. Each has a vital role, and when they're all improvising, chaos is just one miscommunication away. But what if there was a way to orchestrate all of that complexity into consistent excellence? That's exactly what we're exploring today. The Restaurant Operations Manual, your restaurant's Bible for turning chaos into clockwork precision. Here's the fascinating reality at the heart of this. A restaurant is one of the very few businesses on earth that manufactures and sells its product simultaneously under one roof in just a matter of minutes. Most businesses manufacture overseas, ship product, then sell later. But restaurants, purchasing, cleaning, accounting, cooking, and serving are all happening at the exact same time, every single day. And every single interaction is a potential point of failure. A forgotten allergy alert, a mishandled complaint, a miscommunicated order, and you lose a customer forever. So here's the central question. How do you make consistency repeatable? Even when the dining room is packed, a new hire is on their first shift, or something goes wrong. Because guests don't just come back for a great meal once, they come back for the expectation that it'll be great again. Now let's talk about why winging it simply doesn't work. Without a centralized system, your restaurant runs on tribal knowledge, what the veterans remember and what the manager said last Tuesday. But verbal training drifts. Policies mutate as they pass from person to person, like a game of telephone where the original message becomes unrecognizable. And when turnover hits, and let's be honest, turnover in this industry is brutal, that hard-won wisdom walks right out the door. You're left starting from scratch, training by word of mouth, hoping nothing gets lost in translation. During a rush, that uncertainty turns into panic. Guests get treated inconsistently, staff waste time asking around, and managers end up micromanaging details they shouldn't have to touch. And here's the legal nightmare. When accidents happen, a kitchen injury, a slip and fall, without documented procedures, you can't prove you took preventive measures. The gap is undeniable. Restaurants need a way to capture, preserve, and distribute critical operational knowledge that tribal, verbal approaches simply cannot provide. This brings us to the solution, the Restaurant Operations Manual. But we're not talking about some dusty binder on a shelf. We're talking about a comprehensive, living guide that answers 5 practical questions for every single task. What needs to be done? Who does it? How and when it happens? Who gets notified? And what happens if it isn't completed? Picture it, your complete team structure mapped out so everyone knows exactly who to ask for what. Detailed job descriptions that eliminate ambiguity. Process documentation showing not just what to do, but the full flow from reservation to closing duties. Safety and sanitization protocols that protect your staff and your business. And emergency procedures that turn panic into purposeful action, whether that's an ingredient shortage, a power failure, or a global pandemic. This manual becomes your restaurant's encyclopedia, the single source of truth that every employee, from your newest hire to your most seasoned manager, references every single day. Once the manual is in place, the first visible result is smoother operations. Customer handling, queries, complaints, follow-ups, even the small touches like dress code and hygiene standards, stops being left to individual mood or memory and becomes an enforceable expectation. Guests receive the same stellar experience, whether it's their first visit or their 50th. Next comes performance under pressure. During a rush, the manual acts like survival training. It replaces panic with protocol, telling the team exactly what to do when tickets pile up, an ingredient runs out, or equipment fails. Carlos doesn't need to improvise, he just turns to the page. And finally, accountability snaps into focus. With team structure and reporting lines written down, everyone knows who owns what, who to escalate to, and how duties get communicated. Mia stops micromanaging every detail and starts actually managing, because the manual handles the rest. With that foundation solid, 3 more powerful benefits emerge. With operations stabilized, the manual becomes a powerful HR partner. It sharpens hiring because roles are defined so precisely that you know exactly what to look for in interviews and what questions to ask. It transforms training because restaurant-specific rules no longer live in someone's memory. New hires like Nora can read the same source of truth, and frequently asked questions get answered before they're even raised. The manual also makes delegation realistic. In restaurants, roles shift constantly. Managers run food, servers help host, someone covers a station. When tasks are documented, any team member can step into an unfamiliar duty with far less friction. And then there's the long game, knowledge management. High turnover is common in this industry, but a living manual gives you a place to capture lessons from experienced staff through pre-shift huddles, feedback sessions, and regular updates. So wisdom doesn't disappear when someone walks out the door. That vault of institutional knowledge becomes one of your restaurant's most valuable assets. This is where the paper's message shifts from nice to have to growth engine. A documented manual makes your restaurant run like a well-designed system. Tasks happen on schedule, quality checkpoints exist at every station, and managers oversee flow instead of putting out random fires. That's exactly why fast service chains are fast. They've standardized everything from hiring and training to prep, service, and cleaning. And that standardization is what makes growth replicable. When you open a second location, bring in investors, or eventually sell the business, documented operations make your business understandable and transferable. Investors and buyers pay premiums for documented operations because it proves your restaurant isn't dependent on your personal presence. On the day-to-day side, efficiency improves because every minute counts during peak hours, and waste drops when cleaning. Schedules protect equipment and recipes, guide precise ordering quantities. Most powerfully, writing processes down forces you to see them clearly, so you can optimize, test changes, and lock improvements into the next version of the manual. Your restaurant transforms from a localized hustle into a scalable, high-value asset. Let's bring this all together. Your operations manual is far more than a procedural document. It's the foundation for consistent excellence, the shield against chaos, the engine for growth, and the blueprint for your restaurant's legacy. We've covered the 6 powerful reasons you need one. Smooth operations that guarantee every guest the same stellar experience. Crisis management that replaces panic with protocol when the pressure is highest. Accountability that frees you from micromanaging every detail. A dream team built through sharper hiring, faster training, and knowledge that stays in-house even when staff moves on. Profit growth and scalability through documented procedures that make expansion possible and your business investor-ready. And efficiency that eliminates waste, protects equipment, and maximizes every minute of every shift. And here's your next step. Don't try to write everything at once. Start with 3 pages: team structure, your top 10 processes, and safety and emergency protocols. Use templates, customize them for your unique operation, and commit to reviewing everything every 6 months so your manual stays alive and current. If you build that single source of truth, you're not just writing a document. You're designing a restaurant that performs consistently, improves continuously, and scales confidently. Connect with Forks for the experienced accounting professionals your restaurant needs. Details in description below.